You got an itch on her? A little bit. Beautiful morning. Hey, I was gonna pet you. Hey, good morning. This morning I have to do something that I really do not enjoy doing. I have to climb up into that bin, get inside, climb down the ladder to the bottom where the grain is stuck, and break it loose. This is one of those situations where nobody wants to go inside of a grain bin. Unfortunately, I kind of have to get in there. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna harness up, I'm gonna tether myself to the top so that I've got tension on the rope. And it's honestly, it's not really bridged up. The grain is laying flat, so it isn't like it's gonna break loose and there's not a risk of it sliding over on top of me. The grain is flat inside there. I'm gonna have a radio on me. I'm gonna be radioing out to Dad and Jim that will both be out here, and I'll be talking to them. They're gonna turn the bin off, and I'm gonna poke around, try to find the sump to open the sump up, and then I'm gonna climb myself out of the way. They can fire it up, see if it's open. We're gonna do that until we've got grain flowing. What we're pretty sure happened was when we got into the field right away, before the combines were set, when the beans were still a little bit green, those first few hundred bushels we took out had a lot of pods in them. When the beans are green, it's hard to thresh them out just right. You end up with a lot of pods in the tank, especially when your combines are not set for the year. Those got down in the bottom. I think they plugged the sumps. All we gotta do is poke into them and open those sumps up. As excited as I am to jump in there and get to work, nobody is here yet, so I'm gonna take this Mendeco controller and mount it onto the 8295 over here so that we can control this Mendeco. In the last video I mentioned we have a few weed patches out there. We just wanna go till them up really good. Cut them up, chop them up as good as we can so that we do the best job we can of hopefully not spreading water hemp seeds all over the fields. It's pretty simple. Just a three-way switch to control which function you want to use for the SCV, for the hydraulic button. Plug it into power in a cigarette lighter adapter here. And then this wire runs out to the unit itself. I guess that means if we want to use it, we also got to hook up all our hydraulics. Those should be good. I'm going to fire it up, get a little heat in it. Look at that. Every single hydraulic is hooked up correctly. Sometimes I amaze myself. Might want to adjust the fuel level a little bit. Now this is a 33-foot implement. This is a 300 horsepower tractor. It's definitely not gonna have the snort to pull it like it's supposed to at 10 miles an hour. We'll take, luckily there's a lot of adjustability in the machine, so we'll take a lot of the pitch out of the blades and just make multiple passes. And this is the tractor we have available to do this, so this is the one that we're going to do it with. Take the wheel stops out here. That keeps the cylinders from settling while it's in storage.
Morning.
Morning.
You ran a little more out, but really slow and didn't get anywhere?
I don't think it hardly moved at all. It ran for 2 hours. Dad is here now and I'm full on diesel, so I'm going to park this and then go harness up and climb into that grain bin. You think it's only pulling out of one?
I think so. It's dark in there too.
I noticed that.
Well, the sun's on this side of the bin is better, but I don't think we want to wait.
You can see there I've tossed my shovel down. I got my rope down. I'll clip that to the ladder when I get there, but it's clipped here just in case. And I'm gonna go down there and get that opened up again. Then I've got a shovel in there. And hopefully Dad will be out here and we can get that door open down underneath there. And I'm not gonna take any video right now because I feel like it's an added distraction, so you'll see me when I get out. You know, my TikTok's been a little different than all my other social medias, and I try not to, I've been thinking I shouldn't be so negative, but some days I just really hate the f***ing job. In light of trying to be a little more positive on my TikTok, even though it doesn't get as many views. It happens, you know, it's all part of it. Love you guys. It's been an hour. I had that sump open at one point. One sump. And I tried poking to make it flow even faster. I made it worse. It's completely stopped now. The stick I'm using is bent over, so I'm gonna go have to hack that off because I can't even push it through anymore. Good times. The good news is I sharpened my stick here. Every good warrior needs a good weapon. It sounded cool, but I'm just a farmer trying to poke holes in grain, in beans and soybeans. The good news is the sharpened spear. The bad news is Jim did like 20-30 acres of tillage this morning. And if you watched the last video, you know we broke a cast piece on that chisel plow. That really wasn't fun to replace. We even had the torch out and everything. He broke another one 20 to 30 acres later. We're wondering if it's because the ground is so hard and so dry that it's just pulling that hard. We're gonna fix one more. If we break it again, the chisel plow's gone, we're putting the ripper on it. But for now, I'm gonna saddle up here and attach myself back to this Dealio tutor and go back into a grain bin. So I got down to where the door is open. We can open this top door. That is flowing slowly, but it is. So the good news is it's moving, but the bad news is it's dang near noon and it's moving slowly. And Jim went to go get parts for this. It's the same exact thing that broke yesterday, just a different shank. This is not the strip tiller, this is the chisel plow. It was the deep bander, so we used to pull the fertilizer cart behind it and put fertilizer down with it, but I moved that over to the strip tiller. Anna, how have you been while I've been inside there, huh? Just fine? All right, well, we'll see you later. I legit had soybeans in my underwear, and some of them in places where they're not, like in spots where there's not normally beans. There he is, the man with the parts.
I quit.
You quit? I'm pretty close to that too.
The throttled up one, throttle down in the skid loader.
I think it's in, I think I know what it is.
You think, was it burning out the depth? I didn't see any lights.
No.
Right there.
Now that we got the chisel plow fixed, we're going to unhook it and put the ripper on. We're thinking the ground is just too hard. The ripper's gonna stand up to it a lot better, so we're gonna swap. Way up on it. He might have to creep ahead to get out of the wheel hole. There's big jacks on the back of this. They're heavy and they're in the ground right now. There, yeah. That'll do it. There. Figured we'd knock the dirt off out here instead of in the shop. I have high hopes we're not going to need the torch for this, so I'm going to get it out of the way. Just got to check the tires and throw a little grease at it, and she should be good.
111 pounds.
Good news. The bin quit flowing, so I'm going to start everything up and climb back in there again. Toss my harness on. Well, hallelujah, we got it. I'm done with this harness. I am done in the bin right now. We're down to the floor in that bin, so that's all good. Unfortunately, it set us so far behind, I don't think we're gonna start corn today. We have got the co-op's truck right there, and it's got 15 ton of fertilizer in it. So I've got to get that empty for them because they want that thing tomorrow. So that means I got to get this strip tiller fired up and going so that I can get rid of that fertilizer. The rest of you are just gonna have to wait your turn. And because I've been through this a goat-zillion times before, the first thing I'm gonna do is dump the potash, pull this meter out and dump it to make sure it's clear, because I've had issues with that. I don't know if any of you have seen that. It's messy and I hate doing it. It makes me sticky and salty, and I'm gonna do it and hope that I don't have to do it again. Look at that, nice and dry. That's good. We'll spread this in the field out here where it belongs anyway. Oh, there's a cut. Oh, that stings. Oh, we didn't know that cut was there. Ow! Ah! Owie! Owie, owie! Ooh! I didn't even know that was there. One product full, one to go. Time to turn on the Vikings. They're playing 29-22, 2 minutes left. Vikings leading.
A lot of times the corners show up in the fit.
113 acre piece here. I am hoping that this goes wonderfully, truly wonderfully. It's gonna be the greatest strip tilling experience really that there's ever been. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. I got the fans warming up, I got the field set, I got my rates set. Everything should be good, so what I'm gonna do is charge the meters since I dumped some product out at home, make sure stuff's flowing out. Here's the one that kills me every time. Oh, I gotta flip the lever. Oops, it's easy. Every time. Like I said, it kills me every time. Had the levers in the wrong spot, filled the wrong thing. It's handy to have this little shut off here anyway. Try it again. I can hear it. My gosh, it's coming out of every one of them. Just like it's supposed to. It's quite magical when this thing works. Time to get to work. Oh, I guess my sensor's working. Auto on, guidance, set track. Well, it appears as though things are working. My rate is supposedly dead on. I've got my intelligent ag system up here giving me a mass flow number there. All the bars are green. I can see what's going on inside the tank, so as I go, those levels should go down. And everything looks good out the window. Please, please, let this continue to work. Crazy. Everything is working beautifully. I wanted to jump out and show you guys the actual strips here. If you remember from last year what it looked like when the soil was a lot wetter, it was a lot stickier. We are still getting a lot of clumps here. Some of this is compaction probably left from the spring, maybe a little bit from this fall, but it's been pretty dry. A lot of these lumps are going to break up over winter with our freeze thaw and mellow out a lot in the spring. But overall, it's just a completely different machine when the soil is dry. Oh gosh, it is so much drier and harder down here than it is back home. I'm 5 miles south right now in some of our farther south fields, and I can't believe how much drier this actually is than just 5 miles north. That's exactly why our soybeans at home were 10 to 15 bushels an acre better than they were down here. Guess what? See those end two? There's no product coming out. That's right, the front tank is not feeding into those rows. It's a tank problem. It's not the strip till bar. This tank is made for seed, and we're pushing fertilizer through a tank that's ultimately made for seed. And I don't think it works. And I will fight through this year. As you can tell, my fuse is short enough here that I'm already... It is what it is. We've made a lot of great improvements to this machine. Oh, fart. I did that, that's my bad. Again, learning curve every year, all the time. And I like the idea. And I'd love to get into strip tilling. Notice this is the first problem I've had with it, and I'm already explaining why it's for sale. It was going good till I got out and manually tested it and realized 2 rows weren't working. Obviously, what I need to make sure of in here is to watch my, instead of just my mass flow number up here, I need to watch my individual rows a little more closely. Because I'm guessing it probably told me that I had 2 rows putting on a lesser amount of product, I would think. So that's on me, another lesson learned, but it's nice to have if that's the case. Now here is a peculiar thing. Just because I don't trust this machine, I got out to check it. I've been going for 30-40 minutes. Everything's been going good, looks good. I'm watching the individual rows and they look fine. However, 2 of them are not applying when I turn it over manually. Why? I'm not gonna flip out, but I am gonna try turning the air pressure up and down in the tank to see if something, it just doesn't, you know, when I'm at idle, I've got about 4,000 RPM on the fan. When I idle up, it goes to my 46, which is my target. Let's see if that changes anything. Nope. No, they still don't go. So guess what? I'm gonna pull all this out, I'm gonna dig in there, I'm gonna get all salty and get fertilizer all over myself and put it back together, and it's gonna work fine for like 15 minutes. Now they're all applying. I don't know how often does a guy get out and check, because now I don't trust the sensor, the monitor either. The numbers are there, the mass flow number matches up. But when I look at my cameras as well, I have noticed my phosphorus, my back tank is starting to show some yellow here. My white tank is not. And perhaps that's simply because the cameras are in different spots, or perhaps it's because my front tank is not moving. Look at the ladder rungs here. There's 1 rung there, and I believe I can see 3 there. I'm gonna turn my fan way down, which is gonna make me have to slow way down. This is what I did last year. I'm gonna watch this mass flow number and see if it goes up, which it's not. Right now it's actually low. I don't trust it. I really got a bad feeling that my potash is not actually feeding out when I'm driving. There's still a lot of product left in both tanks. I'm just gonna kill the air pressure and open the tanks and see what they look like. I like what I see here, but that tank is never a problem. This is the one I'm always nervous about. Hard to say, I don't know, but here's the type of thing that makes me nervous. Strings and fertilizer bricks. Look at the chunks up here in the screen. How many little chunks make it through that screen and end up down in the meter rolls? It's really just a nasty product, but physically, it looks like it is moving. So I guess I have no choice but to kind of trust it here for a little bit. 10 acres later, and I just don't feel like, that's moving. But maybe it is. I hate this machine. Another beautiful night, another beautiful sunset. And see that? There's a little yellow at the bottom of the tank. I have gotten out and checked. It's moving. It's flowing. I think we're gonna be okay here. There's one of those weed patches. It was just too wet to get in there when I planted this spring, and even though you spray and you control the weeds everywhere else, when you don't have a crop, that's what happens, especially with the water hemp in our area now. I just got the warning saying tank 2 volume is low, so that's good. I don't have another vehicle here, and it's about 5-6 miles home, so Dad's actually gonna run down and get me. I've only got about 15 acres left. However, I keep watching on the camera, and I'm just not convinced that front tank, that the potash is moving. Everything on the gauges and the monitors is telling me it's moving. When I come out here to manually turn it, it flows. But it's like the pile in the tank just physically isn't going down.
Round and round, what comes around goes around. I'll tell you why.
I have got 73 acres done now, and I will confirm that the potash is definitely moving. The DAP is about out. I know you guys can't see that very well on the camera, but I'm getting down there. It does appear as though everything is working fine. I'm getting more acres in than I expected, and I hope, I'm pretty sure it's because we just got more in the tanks back there than we thought we could fit. So maybe we just squeeze more in. We will know a little more tomorrow when we pull up with the truck and fill them up again. If the truck goes empty before the tanks are full, we know we had more in tonight. According to our math, we should have enough in there to just finish this field, which is 113 acres, so we'll know more tomorrow. But I'm confident now. I can definitely see the potash is moving on the camera, so now I feel better. It just took that long to go from peaked up to where it was lower on the camera, where I could actually see it. salty. That's a long enough day for now. Dad's been sitting here waiting to give me a ride home for a while, so I'm just about out. I don't think I'd be able to make another full round, so I'm out of here. I had enough time in a bin. It's been a long enough day. Put my lunch back here. All right, dogs. I'm going to bed. You should too.
Y'all, good night.